West Virginia, 0217 hours. Thermal imaging detects 43 heat signatures inside a facility sealed since 1967. 5 Delta operators enter. Contact is made, 3 rounds center mass. It stands back up and speaks their names. Subscribe to Warborn Shadows, because some Cold War experiments never ended. My name is Marcus Hale. Before I say anything else, you need to know I didn't want to tell this story. For 42 years, I kept my mouth shut. Followed orders, signed the papers, watched my team get scattered to the wind with threats sewn into their discharge paperwork like landmines. But Isaiah Crowell died last month. Heart attack, they said. He was 59 and ran marathons. The autopsy report I wasn't supposed to see listed acute psychological distress as a contributing factor. His daughter called me crying, said he'd been having the same nightmare every night for weeks. Said he kept talking about scratches on walls, about something that learned to walk like us. That makes 3 of us dead now, out of 5. I'm telling you this because someone needs to know what's still down there, what they left behind, what's been waiting. It's November 1983. I'm 24 years old, Delta Force, 3 years in. We're the guys they send when they can't send anyone official, when the mission doesn't exist and neither do we. The briefing happens in a room with no windows at Fort Bragg. No recordings, no notes. Just a major I'd never seen before with a briefcase handcuffed to his wrist and eyes that looked like he hadn't slept in a week. Monongahela National Forest, he says, sliding a black and white photo across the table. It shows a concrete structure built into a mountainside. Blast doors sealed, overgrown with 40 years of Appalachian wilderness. Site designation November 7. Decommissioned 1967. Officially abandoned. Officially empty. I look at the photo, then at Lieutenant Kessler, our team lead, then back at the major. What's unofficial? Kessler asks. The major opens the briefcase. Inside are thermal imaging printouts, grainy and distorted. Heat signatures. Lots of them, moving in patterns. 3 weeks ago, routine aerial survey picked up thermal anomalies, interior temperature fluctuations, movement. The facility is buried under 60 feet of mountain, no active power source, no authorized personnel within 200 miles. Wildlife? Isaiah asks. He's our tracker. Grew up in Tennessee mountains. If something's animal, he'll know. Wildlife doesn't move in organized patterns, the major says. Wildlife doesn't generate signatures consistent with human body temperature, and wildlife doesn't set off motion sensors that were supposed to stop working in 1967. The room goes quiet. Aaron Pike, youngest on our team at 22, leans forward. What was the site used for? The major closes the briefcase. That's classified above your clearance. Your mission is simple: infiltrate, document, verify structural integrity, confirm presence or absence of unauthorized occupation, extraction at dawn, radio silence unless emergency. Any questions? Lucas Marin raises his hand. He's our demo guy, built like a bear and twice as stubborn. Yeah. If it's abandoned, why are we going in armed? The major looks at him for a long time. Then he says, because I don't send men into the dark unprepared. That's how I knew we were walking into something bad. We insert by helicopter at dusk. Pilot drops us 2 clicks from the site and gets out of there like the mountains on fire. Rotors fade into the distance, and suddenly it's just the 5 of us standing in a forest that's too quiet. November in West Virginia means the trees are skeletal, leaves gone, Ground frozen, everything stripped down to bone. The temperature's dropping fast, maybe 35 degrees, and our breath comes out in clouds. Isaiah goes first. He's point. Moves through the woods like smoke. The rest of us follow in tactical column, spacing tight, but not too tight. Kessler's behind Isaiah. Then me, Aaron. Lucas brings up rear. Nobody talks, hand signals only. The forest is so quiet I can hear my own heartbeat in my ears. This is wrong, Isaiah signs back to us. He's crouched near a fallen log, scanning the tree line. No birds, no deer sign, nothing. He's right. We've been moving for 20 minutes and haven't seen so much as a squirrel. No tracks in the frost, no scat, no claw marks on bark. It's like everything with legs walked out and didn't come back. Kessler checks his compass, taps his watch. We're on schedule. He motions forward. Another 15 minutes and we see it. The facility entrance. The photos didn't do it justice. The blast doors are massive, maybe 20 feet tall, set into the mountain like a vault. Concrete bunker extends on either side, covered in 40 years of moss and vine. Rusted warning signs barely visible. No trespassing. U.S. government property. Authorized personnel only. But that's not what makes my skin crawl. The doors are open. Not much. Maybe 3 feet. Just enough for a person to slip through sideways. Thermals showed activity 3 weeks ago, Kessler whispers. Orders were the place was sealed. Lucas moves closer, running his hand along the door frame. These things weigh tons. Hydraulic seals, no way they opened on their own. From inside or outside? I ask. He kneels down, examines the ground. There's a gouge in the dirt, deep, recent. He looks up at us. Inside. We stand there for maybe 30 seconds. Wind moves through the trees behind us. The darkness beyond those doors is absolute. Kessler makes the call. We go in. Stay tight. Thermals and NVGs. Weapons hot. Aaron, you're documenting. Everything we see, you record. Aaron pulls out the camera. Military issue. Bulky. He nods. Isaiah goes through first. I follow. The air changes immediately. Outside it's cold. Inside it's colder. And it smells wrong. Not decay exactly. Something chemical. Sterile but rotted at the same time. We activate night vision. The world goes green. The entrance corridor is concrete. 20 feet wide, ceiling lost in shadow above us. Our footsteps echo wrong, like the space is bigger than it should be. Water drips somewhere. The sound multiplies. 40 feet in, we find the first checkpoint. Security station, desk, chair, logbook still sitting there. Pages curled with age. Isaiah picks it up carefully, shines his light. Last entry is April 1967, he says. Says, final evacuation complete. All personnel accounted for. Site sealed per Protocol 7. All personnel, Lucas repeats. That's specific. We move deeper. The corridor branches. Left goes to administrative, right goes down. Kessler points right. We descend. The stairwell is metal, graded steps. Our boots clang with every step. I count as we go. 20 steps, 30, 50. We're deep now. Mountain pressing down overhead. The air gets thicker, harder to breathe. Level 1. Doors already open. We clear it room by room. Storage, supply lockers, everything stripped. Shelves empty. Furniture gone. Nothing but dust and cobwebs. Level 2. Same thing. Living quarters, bunks, common area, kitchen, all abandoned. Clean sweep, professional. But there's dust everywhere. Thick, undisturbed. Except in one place. Aaron spots it first. He grabs my arm. Points. Footprints. In the dust. Leading from the stairwell to a door marked medical. They're bare feet. human-sized. But the stride is wrong, too long, toes spread too wide. Isaiah kneels next to them, runs his finger along the edge of one print. Doesn't disturb it. He looks up at us. These are fresh, less than a day old. How many? Kessler asks. Isaiah studies the pattern, counts under his breath. 4, maybe 5, overlapping, hard to tell. 4 people walked through here yesterday, Lucas says, in a facility that's been sealed for 16 years. Nobody has an answer for that. Kessler moves to the medical door, tests the handle. It turns. He looks back at us. We nod. He pushes it open. The room beyond is chaos. Filing cabinets overturned. Papers everywhere. Examination tables on their sides. Glass crunches under our boots. But it's not random destruction. It's searching, methodical. Someone went through this room looking for something specific. Aaron starts filming, sweeps the room. I move to the filing cabinets, pull out a drawer that's still half full. Manila folders, labels typed on some kind of military form. Subject 17, Subject 22, Subject 31. I open one. Inside are medical charts, photos, a young man's face, maybe 20 years old, eyes wide and terrified, handwritten notes in the margins. Day 47. Subject exhibits acute paranoia, refuses food. Day 63. Administered compound CCA4. Day 71. Subject non-responsive to external stimuli. Day 89. Recommend termination. The last page is stamped in red. Non-recoverable. Jesus Christ, I whisper. Kessler's at another cabinet. He's reading faster, flipping pages. They were testing something. Psychological warfare, chemical compounds, sensory deprivation, extended isolation. How extended? Lucas asks. Kessler finds a summary sheet. His face goes pale. Subjects held in solitary confinement, 6 months, a year, some longer. They were trying to see how far the human mind could break before it stopped being human. And then what? Aaron asks. Isaiah's standing at the back of the room. He's found something, a door, metal, heavy. He motions us over. The door has a warning stenciled on it. Level 3, authorized access only, psychological quarantine in effect. That wasn't on the facility map, Kessler says. Map probably stopped at level 2, I say. Whatever they were doing down there, they didn't want it documented. We stand there. The door has a wheel lock, like a submarine hatch. Lucas tries it. It turns. Smooth. Too smooth for something that's been sealed since 1967. The door opens. A stairwell, descending into black. Colder air rushes up. That chemical smells stronger now. And something else, something organic, rotten. We should call for extraction, Aaron says. His voice shakes. Kessler checks his watch. We have 4 hours until dawn. We're here. We finished the mission. But I can see it in his eyes. He doesn't want to go down there any more than the rest of us. Isaiah goes first. Always does. We descend. Level 3 is different. The walls are bare concrete. No paint, no markings. Overhead lights are out, but the fixtures are there. Industrial, harsh. We move in silence. Tight formation. The hallway extends maybe 50 feet, then opens into a central hub. 6 corridors branch out like spokes. Cell doors line each corridor. Metal, riveted, small windows at eye level. Slot at the bottom for food trays. Every door is open. We split up. 2-man teams. Kessler and Aaron take left. Me and Isaiah take center. Lucas covers our 6. I approach the first cell. The door's been forced. Hinges bent. I shine my light inside. 8 by 10 feet. Concrete floor. No furniture, no bed. Nothing. Just walls. And scratches. The walls are covered. Floor to ceiling. Scratches, gouges, patterns. Some look like tally marks, others like words, but the language is wrong. Scrambled. Letters repeated until they lose meaning. And then I see it. In the back corner, scratched so deep, the concrete is grooved. Still here, still here, still here, still here. Over and over, hundreds of times. Marcus. Isaiah's voice. Low, urgent. I turn. He's at the next cell, motioning me over. This one's the same. Scratches, but more. There's dried blood on the walls, old, brown, flaking, and more words. They forgot us. We wait. We learned. Learned what? I ask. Isaiah doesn't answer. He's staring at something in the corner. I follow his gaze. There's a pile there. Fabric. Rags. I move closer. Shine my light. It's a uniform. U.S. Army. Rotted through, but the name tape is still visible. Subject 31. The same number from the medical file upstairs. They left them here, Isaiah says. When they sealed the facility, they left them here. I feel something cold settle in my stomach. How many subjects were there? Files said 43, Isaiah says. 43 people, sealed in, forgotten. For 16 years, I say. But that's not right. That's not possible. Nobody survives 16 years in a cell with no food, no water, no light. Unless they weren't alone. Marcus, Isaiah says again. He's looking at the floor now, at the dust, at the footprints. They lead from this cell, out into the corridor, fresh, bare, human-sized, but wrong. And they're everywhere. Dozens of them, overlapping, moving in patterns, from cell to cell, up the hallway, toward the stairwell, toward us. They're not here anymore, Isaiah whispers. They left. That's when we hear it. Footsteps, above us. Level 2, moving, not running, walking, measured, deliberate. Coming toward the stairs. Kessler's voice crackles over radio. All teams rally on me, now. We move fast, back to the hub. Lucas is already there. Aaron right behind him. His camera's still rolling, his hands shaking. Did you see them? Aaron asks. See what? I say. The cells, all of them. They're all empty. But the doors, they weren't forced from outside. They were opened from inside. The footsteps above us stop. We all freeze. Silence. Complete. Total. Even the dripping water has stopped. Then, slowly, the footsteps start again, descending the stairs. Coming down to level 3. Kessler makes a hand signal. We form up, weapons raised, safeties off, pointing at the stairwell entrance. The footsteps reach the bottom. Stop. We wait. Nothing moves. Then, from behind us, from one of the corridors we haven't cleared, a sound. Breathing. Not one person, multiple. Ragged, wet, like lungs that haven't worked properly in years. Kessler's jaw tightens. He motions. We turn. Slowly. The corridor is dark. Our lights don't penetrate far enough. But we can see shapes. Silhouettes. Tall. Too tall. Standing in the doorways of the cells. Not moving. Just standing there. Watching us. Isaiah raises his rifle. Federal agents, identify yourself. No response. I said, identify. One of the shapes moves, steps forward, into the light. I've been in combat, Iraq, Beirut, places where people do terrible things to each other. I thought I'd seen the worst of what humans could become. I was wrong. The thing that steps into the light used to be a man. Maybe. The proportions are right. 2 arms, 2 legs, head, torso, but everything's wrong. The skin is pale, gray, stretched too tight over bones that jut at angles. The fingers are elongated, nails thick and cracked. The eyes are open, but the pupils are blown wide, black, reflecting our light like an animal's. It's naked, emaciated, ribs showing, but it's standing, moving, alive. It tilts its head, studying us. Then it smiles. Teeth. Too many teeth. Contact, Kessler says. Calm, professional. Weapons free. The shape moves. Fast. Faster than anything that starved should move. Lucas fires first. 3-round burst. Center mass. The thing staggers. Doesn't fall. Just stops. Looks down at the holes in its chest. Looks back at us. Then it screams. Not pain. Not fear. Something else. A sound I'd never heard a human throat make. High-pitched, oscillating, like a siren mixed with grinding metal. And from the other corridors, from the cells, from above us on level 2, they answer. The facility erupts with sound. Dozens of voices, all wrong, all screaming that same mechanical shriek. The walls amplify it. My ears ring. My hands shake. Fall back! Kessler shouts. Stairwell, now! We move. Tactical retreat. Isaiah and I lay suppressing fire. The shapes pour out of the corridors. 4, 6, 10, more. They move like insects. Scuttling. Limbs bending in ways that make my stomach turn. Lucas throws a flashbang. The corridor lights up white. The shapes recoil, covering their eyes, screaming louder. We hit the stairs. Aaron first, then Kessler, Lucas, me. Isaiah brings up rear. He's firing controlled bursts. Every shot finds a target, but they keep coming. They're not stopping, Isaiah yells. One of them reaches the bottom of the stairs, starts climbing. Its movements are jerky, uncoordinated, but fast. It's learning how to run. Isaiah puts 3 rounds in its head. It falls backward, lands on 2 others. They don't stop to help it. They climb over the body. We reach level 2. Isaiah slams the door, spins the wheel lock. It won't hold long. Already we can hear them on the other side. Pounding, clawing, metal screeching. What the fuck were those things? Aaron gasps. He's hyperventilating. Camera clutched to his chest. Move, Kessler orders. We're not safe here. He's right. The door's shaking. The wheel's turning. They're opening it from the inside. We run, through level 2, past the medical bay, toward the main stairwell. Behind us, the door bursts open. The screaming starts again. Closer now. I risk a look back. There are at least 20 of them, flooding into level 2. They move like a pack, coordinated, hunting. We reach the main stairs. Start climbing. My legs burn, lungs scream. Behind us, the footsteps multiply. They're gaining. Level 1. We don't stop. Keep climbing. Toward the entrance. Toward daylight. Toward extraction. The entrance corridor. I can see the blast doors ahead. That 3-foot gap. Freedom. We're 50 feet away when they cut us off. They come from the side corridors. The ones we didn't clear on entry. 10 of them. Blocking the exit. Standing between us and escape. We skid to a stop. Caught between 2 groups. Front and back. The corridor's only 20 feet wide. No cover. No exits. Kessler raises his rifle. We go through them, on my mark. But something's wrong. The ones in front aren't attacking. They're just standing there, watching, waiting. Then one of them speaks. Still here. The voice is broken, rusted, like vocal cords that haven't been used in decades. But it's English, unmistakable. Still here, still waiting, still learning. Lucas lowers his rifle slightly. Jesus Christ, it's talking. Another one speaks. Different voice, same broken quality. They forgot us, locked us away, said we were non-recoverable. A third voice, female, younger. But we recovered. We adapted. We survived. They're not random. They're taking turns, like they've practiced this. We learned how to live in the dark, the first one says. How to breathe the chemicals they pumped into our cells. How to eat what we found growing in the walls. How to become something that could survive. Isaiah's voice is steady, but I can hear the fear underneath. You're the test subjects, from 1967. The first one, I can see now it used to be a man, maybe 30 years old before whatever happened to him happened, nods, slowly. Subject 31, David Corman, 101st Airborne, volunteered for a 2-week psychological endurance study. That was 1964. They never let me leave. The evacuation logs said all personnel were accounted for, Kessler says. Subject 31 laughs. It's a horrible sound, wet, gurgling. We weren't personnel, we were experiments. Non-recoverable means expendable. They sealed us in, cut the power, locked the doors from outside, left us to die. But you didn't die, I say. No, Subject 31 says. We didn't. We changed instead. The compounds they gave us, the isolation, the darkness, it broke something in our minds. But it built something else, something stronger, something that could survive. Behind us, the other group has caught up. They stand there, silent, waiting. We're surrounded, 20 plus on each side, 40 or more, almost the full count from the medical files. Let us pass, Kessler says. We're not your enemy. Subject 31 tilts his head. No, but you're witnesses. You've seen what they did to us, what they made us become. If you leave, you'll tell them, and they'll come back. They'll finish what they started. Or, another voice says, female, Subject 17, you can stay. Join us. Learn what we've learned. Become what we've become. You'd survive, eventually. The circle tightens. They're moving closer, inch by inch, herding us together. Lucas raises his rifle. Stay back. Bullets don't stop us anymore, Subject 31 says. We've learned to ignore pain. Our bodies don't work the way yours do. We don't need the same things. Food, water, light. We've evolved past that. They're 10 feet away now. Close enough I can smell them. Chemical, rotten, wrong. Aaron's crying, silently, tears running down his face. Camera still running, recording everything. Kessler makes a decision. I see it in his eyes. He looks at each of us, nods once. Then he pulls a grenade from his vest, pulls the pin, holds it up. You let us walk out of here, he says, voice like stone. Or I drop this. We all die together. The subjects stop moving. They look at the grenade, then at each other. Something passes between them. Understanding. Subject 31 speaks. You're bluffing. Try me, Kessler says. 30 seconds. Nobody moves. Nobody breathes. Then, slowly, the subjects in front of us step aside, creating a corridor, leading to the blast doors. Go, Subject 31 says. But know this, we're not staying down here anymore. We've been trapped for 19 years. We've learned patience. We've learned to wait. But now we've remembered there's a world above, and we're hungry to see it again. You can't survive out there, Isaiah says. You'll be hunted, killed. Subject 31 smiles, all those teeth. We survived in here. We'll survive out there. And we're not alone. There are others, other sites, other experiments. We've been hearing them on the old radio frequencies, calling to us. waiting for us. We're not the only ones they forgot. Kessler backs toward the door. We follow, weapons raised, eyes on the subjects. They don't move, just watch us go. We reach the blast doors, squeeze through the gap. Outside, the air is freezing, clean. The sun is rising, pink and gold touching the mountains. Behind us, inside the facility, the subjects stand in the entrance corridor, silhouettes against the darkness, watching. Then, slowly, they retreat, back into the depths, disappearing into shadow. The blast doors start to close, hydraulics screaming after decades of disuse, metal grinding against metal. They seal with a boom that echoes across the valley. We stand there, 5 operators, breathing hard, alive. For now. The extraction helicopter arrives at 0700. Pilot takes one look at our faces and doesn't ask questions. We climb aboard, sit in silence, watch the facility disappear behind us. Isaiah's hands are shaking. Aaron's still crying. Lucas stares at nothing. Kessler's jaws clenched so tight I can see the muscles jumping. Nobody speaks for the entire flight back to Bragg. We land, get hustled into a building with no windows. Different room than the briefing, smaller, colder. 3 men in civilian clothes waiting for us. No names, no introductions. They take our weapons, our gear, Aaron's camera. You saw nothing, the first man says. Not a question, a statement. The facility was empty, structurally sound, no signs of occupation, no anomalies. Standard verification mission, understood? Kessler steps forward. There were people down there, 43 test subjects, left behind when the facility was sealed, still alive, still. There was nothing down there, the man interrupts. The facility is scheduled for demolition, structural instability, mountain subsidence, unsafe for human entry. The site will be collapsed and sealed within 48 hours. Any records of its existence will be classified above top secret. Any personnel with knowledge of the site will be reassigned. Any discussion of this mission will be considered treason. You're going to bury them alive, Isaiah says. His voice is quiet, dangerous. The second man stands. There is nothing to bury. The facility is empty. It has been empty since 1967. You 5 were sent to verify this. You verified it. Mission complete. You're being reassigned effective immediately. Different units, different theaters. You will not contact each other. You will not discuss this mission. You will sign the documents we provide, or you will be court-martialed for dereliction of duty and mishandling of classified information. Lucas laughs, sharp, bitter. You're threatening us? We just survived. You survived a routine verification mission, the third man says. Nothing more, now sign. They push papers across the table. Non-disclosure agreements, thick, legal, binding. We sign. What choice do we have? They separate us immediately. I'm sent to Germany, Isaiah to Japan, Aaron to Fort Benning, Lucas to Fort Lewis, Kessler to an undisclosed location. We don't even get to say goodbye. I spend 3 years in Germany, never hear from my team, never get reassigned home. Every time I request transfer, it's denied. No explanation. Then one day in 1986, I get a letter. No return address. Inside is a newspaper clipping. West Virginia Herald. Small article. Page 6. Monongahela facility demolished. Mountain subsidence blamed. The article says the facility was safely collapsed. No casualties. No hazards. Environmental assessment clean. Site sealed permanently. But there's a handwritten note at the bottom. I recognize Kessler's handwriting. They lied. It wasn't empty when they brought it down. I don't hear from Kessler again. I try to find him, call in favors, check records. Nothing. It's like he was erased. In 1989, I'm discharged. Honorable. No incident. I go home to North Carolina, try to build a normal life, fail at it pretty badly. The nightmares start around 1992, always the same. I'm back in level 3. The subjects are circling, getting closer. I can't move, can't run. They're whispering. Still here, still here, still here. I wake up screaming. My wife leaves me in 1994, says I'm not the same man she married. She's right. In 1998, I get a phone call, middle of the night, 3 a.m. I answer. Static. Then a voice I haven't heard in 15 years. Isaiah. Marcus, he says, you need to see this. He's in Tennessee, working as a park ranger, living alone, never married. He looks older than he should, worn down. He takes me to his basement, shows me a wall covered in newspaper clippings, maps, documents, red string connecting them. I couldn't let it go, he says. I've been tracking, researching. There were other sites, not just November 7. 15 facilities across the country, all running similar experiments, all officially abandoned between 1965 and 1970, all supposedly empty. He points to a map. Red circles marking locations: West Virginia, Nevada, Montana, Alaska, Oregon. I've been to 3 of them, Isaiah says. They're all the same. Blast doors forced open. From inside, cells empty, tracks leading out into the wilderness. How many subjects total? I ask. If each site averaged 40 subjects? Isaiah does the math. 600 people, maybe more. All enhanced by chemicals, all adapted to survive impossible conditions, all released when the facilities failed. Released or escaped? Does it matter? Isaiah looks at me. His eyes are haunted. They're out there. They've been out there for decades, learning, adapting, growing. He shows me more clippings. Missing persons, unexplained deaths, strange sightings in remote areas, patterns, connections. There are clusters, he says, around the old facility sites. Hikers disappearing, hunters not coming back, rangers finding camps torn apart. No animal prints, just bare feet, human-sized, but wrong. I sit down, processing. Why are you showing me this? Because Lucas is dead, Isaiah says. Heart attack, 1996. He was 44, healthy, no family history. Autopsy showed massive adrenaline surge, like he was terrified to death. And Aaron? Suicide, 1995. Left a note. Said he couldn't stop hearing them, the screaming. He was in a psychiatric facility when he did it. 2 dead, 3 left. Me, Isaiah, Kessler. I think they're being hunted, Isaiah says. The subjects. I think they remember us. Remember we got out. I think they're tracking us down. That's paranoid, I say. But my voice shakes. Is it? Isaiah pulls out a file. Photos, recent, his house, from outside. These were taken 2 weeks ago. I didn't take them. I found them in my mailbox. No note, just the photos. He flips through them. His house, his car, him leaving for work, him coming home. Someone's watching him. I'm leaving, Isaiah says. Disappearing. I suggest you do the same. Change your name. Move somewhere populated. Don't go into the woods. Don't go anywhere remote. They hunt in isolation. You really think they're coming for us? Isaiah looks at me. We're the only witnesses left. The only ones who know the truth. Subject 31 said they were patient, said they could wait. Well, they've waited long enough. I don't see Isaiah again after that. I try to call him 6 months later. Number disconnected. I drive to his house. Sold. Neighbors say he left in the middle of the night. No forwarding address. I take his advice. Move to Charlotte. Big city. Lots of people. I don't hike, don't camp, don't go anywhere I can't see street lights. The years pass. I tell myself Isaiah was wrong, that it's over, that we're safe. Then, last month, I get a call from Isaiah's daughter. She's crying. He's dead. Heart attack, just like Lucas. Same symptoms. Massive adrenaline surge, terror response. She asks me to come to the funeral. I refuse. Can't risk it. But she sends me something. Package. Inside is a journal. Isaiah's. Notes from his research. Everything he learned about the subjects. The facilities. The experiments. And a letter. Addressed to me. Marcus, if you're reading this, I'm gone. Heart attack, they'll say. But you'll know better. I've felt them watching for weeks now. Caught glimpses, shadows that move wrong, footprints in the frost that disappear at the tree line. They found me. It's only a matter of time before they find you. I'm attaching everything I've learned. Files, documents, whistleblower testimonies. I need you to finish what I started. Make this public. Tell the world what was done to those people, what they became, what they're doing now. The government will deny it. They always do. But the evidence is there. DNA samples, photos, audio recordings. Enough to prove the facilities existed. Enough to prove the experiments happened. Whether anyone believes the subjects survived, that's up to them. But you know the truth. We both do. They're still out there, still hunting, still learning. And Kessler? I found him, or what's left of him. He's been living off-grid in Montana since 1991, completely isolated. He wrote me once, said he sees them every night, just beyond his fence line, watching, waiting. He thinks they're keeping him alive, studying him, learning from him. I think he's right. Stay safe, Marcus. Stay in the light. Don't let them corner you in the dark. They're patient. But so are we. Isaiah, I read the letter 3 times. Then I opened the files. Everything's there. Blueprints of the facilities, psychological test records, photos of the subjects before the experiments, medical notes, termination orders, cover-up documents, and photos from after, recent, taken by Isaiah. Figures in the trees, tall, wrong proportions, watching, always watching. Footprints, dozens of them, around his house, around his car, circling closer. And one photo that makes my blood freeze. A face, pressed against his basement window, gray skin, blown pupils, too many teeth. Subject 31, David Corman. Still alive, still hunting. Still here. I make copies of everything, digital and physical. I don't trust just one format. Hard drives fail, papers burn, but information wants to spread, wants to survive. I reach out to journalists, conspiracy theorists, anyone who might listen. Most ignore me. The ones who don't think I'm crazy. One reporter from the Washington Post agrees to meet. We sit in a crowded Starbucks. I show her the files. She goes pale reading the medical records, the photos, Isaiah's notes. This is insane, she says. If this is real, if even half of this is real, this is the biggest government cover-up since MKUltra. It's real, I say. I was there. I saw them. She looks at me, evaluating, deciding. I'll need to verify the documents, cross-reference, find corroborating sources. This could take months. We might not have months. Why? I show her the photo. Subject 31 at Isaiah's window. She stares at it for a long time. When was this taken? 3 weeks before he died. She closes the file, slides it back across the table. I'm sorry. I can't touch this. My editor would kill me. There's no way to verify a photo like this. Could be doctored, could be anything. It's not doctored. Maybe not. But I can't prove that. And without proof, this is just a scary story. She stands. I'm sorry, I really am. But I need verifiable facts, not nightmares. She leaves. I sit there with my coffee going cold, looking at the files, at 40 years of evidence that nobody wants to see. That's when I decide. If the mainstream won't listen, I'll find someone who will. I start a blog, anonymous, encrypted. I upload everything. The files, the photos, Isaiah's research, my testimony. I title it, The Monongahela Files. What the government buried in 1967. It gets 3 views the first day, probably bots. Then someone shares it, then someone else. It spreads, slowly at first, then faster. By week 2, I have 50,000 views. Comments start rolling in. Most call it fiction, creative writing, an ARG. Some believe, some share their own stories. Strange encounters in the woods, missing hikers, abandoned facilities they've found. The evidence starts connecting. Patterns emerge. The 15 facility sites Isaiah identified, all surrounded by high rates of disappearances, all remote, all forgotten. Then I get a message, encrypted, routing through multiple proxies. Stop. You're putting yourself in danger. They're watching. K. Kessler. Has to be. I reply. Where are you? Are you safe? Response comes 6 hours later. No one's safe. They found me 2 years ago. I've been moving ever since. They're hurting me, testing me, seeing how long I can last. Come to Charlotte. We can protect each other. Long pause. Then. They don't hunt in cities. Not yet, but they're learning. Every year they get bolder, closer to civilization. Subject 31 was spotted in a suburb last year, West Virginia, stealing food from a garage. Homeowner saw him, called police, gone by the time they arrived. Did they believe him? No. Dismissed as a transient, homeless man. But I got the police report. Description matches. Gray skin, elongated limbs, eyes wrong. How many are left? From November 7? I've been tracking. Confirmed sightings of at least 32. But there could be more. They're smart. They hide. Only show themselves when they want to. What do they want? Another pause. Longer this time. Then, revenge. Recognition. Proof they existed. That they were real people before the government erased them. They've been watching the blog. They know you're telling their story. My blood goes cold. They can use computers? They've had 40 years to learn. Subject 31 was an engineer before the experiments. Others were scientists, teachers, soldiers. They weren't stupid. The chemicals broke their bodies, but their minds, those adapted too. They're smarter than us now, more patient, more focused. Are they coming for me? The cursor blinks. No response. Then, I don't know. Maybe, but I don't think they want to kill you. They want you to keep talking, keep spreading the truth. You're useful to them. And when I'm not useful anymore, then you'll end up like Lucas, like Aaron, like Isaiah. The connection drops. I try to reconnect. Nothing. Kessler's gone. I sit there staring at the screen. At the blog analytics, 75,000 views now, growing every hour. I'm doing exactly what Subject 31 wants. Telling their story, giving them recognition, making them real. But stopping now won't make them go away. The blog hits 500,000 views in 3 weeks. News outlets start picking it up, not as fact, as a phenomenon. Creepypasta goes viral. The Monongahela hoax. They call it fiction, entertainment. But the families don't. I start getting emails from relatives of people who disappeared near the facility sites, daughters looking for fathers, sons seeking mothers, wives hunting for husbands who went hiking and never came back. They send me photos, missing persons reports, last known locations. The patterns are undeniable. Clusters around the old facilities, people vanishing, bodies never found. One email stands out, from a woman named Sarah Corman. My grandfather was David Corman. He volunteered for a military study in 1964. My family was told he died in 1965. Training accident. We got a flag and a check. But there was no body, no funeral, just a closed casket full of sandbags we didn't discover until 2003 when my grandmother wanted to be buried beside him. We opened the grave, found the truth. The government lied. Where is my grandfather? I stare at the email for an hour. Then I reply, tell her everything. Send her the files, the medical records, the photos, including the one of Subject 31 at Isaiah's window. Her response comes 20 minutes later. That's him. That's my grandfather. I see it in the eyes, in the way he stands. Oh my God, he's alive. Where is he? I need to find him. I tell her the truth. He's not your grandfather anymore. The experiments changed him, made him something else, something that can't come back. But he's alive. He survived. Doesn't he deserve to come home? I don't think he wants to come home. I think he wants something else. What? Justice. She doesn't reply again. But 3 days later, I see news reports. A formal request for investigation filed with the VA. Sarah Corman demanding answers about her grandfather's death. Demanding exhumation of the other subjects' graves. Demanding the truth. The VA denies the request. National security. Classified information. Case closed. But it's not closed. Not anymore. Other families join. 20, 40, 60. A class action lawsuit. Demanding records. Demanding answers. The government fights back. Hard. Gag orders. Sealed documents. Threats of prosecution for anyone who discusses classified information. But it's too late. The story's out. The blog's been archived, downloaded, spread. You can't kill information once it's loose. Astounded, and somewhere in the mountains, in the deep woods where no one goes, the subjects are watching, waiting, learning. It's been 3 months since I published the blog. The lawsuit is stalled, government stonewalling, but public interest is growing. Podcasts, YouTube videos, amateur investigators hiking to the old facility sites with cameras. Most find nothing. Collapsed entrances, overgrown ruins, empty forest. But some don't come back. There have been 6 disappearances near the old November 7 site since January. Local authorities call it a coincidence. Dangerous terrain, people underestimating the wilderness. But I've seen the reports, the search patterns, the evidence left behind. Camps torn apart, supplies scattered, no blood, no bodies, just tracks. Bare feet, human-sized, leading off into the deep woods where the search dogs won't go. I get another message from Kessler, different encryption, new routing. They're getting active, more sightings, more encounters. They're testing boundaries, seeing how close they can get to civilization before someone notices, before someone believes. What changed? I ask. You did. You gave them a voice. Proof they existed. Now they're emboldened. They're not hiding anymore. That's not my fault. I didn't say it was, but it's the reality. They've been in shadows for 40 years. Now they're stepping into light, and people still don't believe. Will still call it hoax, coincidence, mass hysteria. What do you want me to do? Keep telling the story. Keep pushing. Eventually, someone in power will have to acknowledge it. And when they do, maybe we can finally get answers. Maybe we can finally end this, or start something worse. No response. Connection drops. Kessler disappears again. I'm alone in my apartment, 9th floor, windows locked, lights on. I tell myself I'm safe, that they can't reach me here. Too many people, too much exposure. But every night I check the locks, 3 times, 4. I look out the window at the street below, at the shadows between streetlights, at the spaces where the dark pools. I never see anything, but I feel watched, always watched. It's April now, 6 months since Isaiah died. The lawsuit finally breaks through. A federal judge orders partial declassification of records related to experimental psychology operations, 1960 to 1970. The government releases 2,000 pages, heavily redacted, but enough is visible to confirm the basics. The facilities existed, the experiments happened, test subjects were used. Some were military volunteers, others were recruited from prisons, mental institutions, people nobody would miss. The psychological testing involved isolation, sensory deprivation, chemical compounds designed to break down ego boundaries, to see if humans could be conditioned to operate without normal cognitive constraints. The official conclusion: project terminated in 1967. All test subjects released or transferred. Facilities decommissioned. No ongoing operations. But there are gaps. Page after page of black bars, entire sections missing. And nowhere does it mention what happened to the non-recoverable subjects, the ones who broke so badly they couldn't be released. Sarah Corman holds a press conference. She's standing with 40 other families, all demanding the truth about their relatives. Our family members were not lab rats, she says. They were human beings, soldiers, citizens, people who trusted their government. And that government betrayed them, experimented on them, then buried the evidence. We demand a full investigation. We demand exhumation of the marked graves. We demand DNA testing to prove these bodies are who the government claims they are. The press eats it up. National coverage, international. The story goes mainstream, not as horror, as scandal, as tragedy. Public opinion shifts. Protests outside VA offices, demands for congressional hearings, pressure builds. And in the mountains, in the deep places, the subjects watch the news, see their names, see their faces from before. And they remember. It happens on a Tuesday, May 14th. A hiker with a camera phone is exploring the old November 7 site. He's live streaming, 50,000 people watching. He's walking through the ruins, narrating, playing up the horror angle. This is where they conducted the experiments, he says, where they tortured American citizens, where they created monsters. He's laughing, joking, treating it like entertainment. Then he sees something in the trees. He stops, points the camera. A figure, standing motionless, 30 yards away, tall, gray, wrong. The hiker's voice changes, not laughing anymore. Holy shit, there's someone there. Hey, you're not supposed to be. The figure moves, fast, toward the camera. The hiker screams, turns, runs. The camera bounces, trees blur, breathing harsh and ragged. Then the video cuts out. The live stream goes viral immediately. 10 million views in 2 hours. News agencies run it constantly, enhanced, stabilized, analyzed. Experts call it a hoax, CGI, a planned stunt. But the video geeks tear it apart. No evidence of manipulation, no digital artifacts, no cuts. Whatever that figure was, it was really there. Search and rescue deploys. They find the hiker's phone, cracked, still recording. The last 30 seconds show the ground, leaves, then a shadow falling across the lens. A face, gray, eyes too wide, looking directly into the camera. Then a hand reaches down, fingers too long, nails too thick. The phone goes dark. The hiker is never found. That's when the government finally admits it. Sort of. A carefully worded statement. While the experimental programs documented in recently declassified materials did occur, any suggestion of ongoing effects or surviving participants is categorically false. The incident in Monongahela National Forest is under investigation. Foul play has not been ruled out. Translation, they're still lying, still covering up. But the evidence is out there now. The video, the testimonies, the files. Millions of people have seen it, downloaded it, shared it. The truth can't be buried anymore. I get a final message from Kessler. 3 words. It's done. Hide. Then he's gone. Completely. No more messages. No more contact. I try every channel, every encryption. Nothing. I don't know if he's dead or if he finally managed to disappear for real. But I know what he meant. The story's out. The truth is known. And now the subjects don't need to hide anymore. Don't need to stay in the shadows. They're coming. Not just for me. For everyone. For the people who denied them, who called them monsters, who tried to erase them from history. Subject 31, David Corman, and the 40+ others who survived the unimaginable, who became something that shouldn't exist, who've spent 40 years learning, adapting, waiting. They're patient, they're intelligent, they're angry, and they're not staying in the woods anymore. I moved last week. New city, new name, somewhere crowded, somewhere safe. But every night I check the locks, look out the windows, wonder if tonight's the night they find me. Because they will eventually, I know that. They found Lucas, found Aaron, found Isaiah. They'll find me. But before they do, I needed to tell this story, to put it somewhere permanent, somewhere it can't be erased. You're reading it now. That means it worked. That means the truth survived. So, now you know. The Monongahela facility wasn't empty when they sealed it. The experiments didn't end in 1967. The subjects didn't die. They evolved. And they're still out there. Still learning, still adapting, still hunting. If you're planning to hike anywhere near those old facility sites, West Virginia, Montana, Nevada, Alaska, Oregon, don't. Don't go into remote areas alone. Don't camp in isolated locations. Don't dismiss strange tracks or sounds as wildlife. Because it's not wildlife. It's them. And they've had 40 years to perfect the hunt. I'm Marcus Hale, former Delta Force, one of 5 operators who entered November 7 in 1983. Now I'm one of 1 still talking. If you never hear from me again, you'll know why. And if you see something in the trees, something that stands too tall, moves too fast, watches too carefully, don't run. They've learned to chase. Just remember this story. Remember their names. Remember what was done to them. Because they sure as hell remember us. They're still here. And they always will be.